Gonna be completely honest, I'm committing a sin here. I forgot this band was even a thing, but I'm happy to see they're still kicking and screaming. Welcome to I Run and Does Music, where today we're checking out the new EP from American metalcore band Famous Last Words called The Negative. This is, I'll be fully truthful, the last band I expected to drop some heat out of nowhere, especially in 2021 and going into 2022. And like I said in the intro, I committed the abrupt sin of forgetting the band existed. Don't get me wrong, I listened to them back when I was in school. Like, they weren't as much of an obsession as like the big four, like Pierceville, Black Veil Brides, etc. were. But I had songs like Even a Ghost Has a Sanctuary on burned CDs 24/7, ready to go, loaded in the Xbox 360. Which leads into me realizing that when I saw the band's name pop up in my Spotify, at first I had this feeling and I was like, okay, that's interesting. I'm not horribly excited. Then I sat there and stewed for a couple seconds and I realized, no, I'm very excited for this. I really want to see where this band is now. I want to see what they're producing now. And I dived right into it, just like we're about to dive right into this review. First song here, In the Blink of an Eye. And just as a quick note, this is an EP, so I get the thankful chance to actually talk about every song in particular in detail, because the EPs are usually shorter, so I want to tell you that to get that out of the way. The first song here, In the Blink of an Eye, is a straight up classic Famous Last Words song that I'm sure is going to be inserted into set lists for years to come. It's got the classic inherent storyteller elements akin to other bands like Alisana or Pierce the Veil in terms of just story gravity, as well as the familiar metalcore edge to it that never has wavered from the band. Jeremy Tolles is somebody I could listen to sing for minutes on end with no break if it wasn't for the fact that his voice would eventually fail, because while the band itself hasn't ever been the most unique band in the world, they've never been the band to introduce innovation after innovation, his voice has always been a compelling one to complement the chaotic trajectory of the rest of the band, all the same and all to great effect. The story of the overall EP, and especially the story that we begin to see unravel here in the blink of an eye, follows an unnamed photographer and It follows him, and he talks about how over the course of his life, he's felt this need that this desire, this need, this innate feeling that he was always destined for something bigger than what he was doing. This feeling that he was destined to be important in some way, shape, or form. And he realizes that the importance that he was bound to encounter wasn't exactly the importance that he really wanted, as a photo that he takes seems to foreshadow the end of the world. This image, referred to as the negative, feeds into both the photographer's anxiety as well as the song's building anticipation, because realistically, In the Blink of an Eye starts and stops at the same energy and the same overall momentum, but you don't immediately get the sense of gravity of the situation. You don't immediately get the sense of, oh hey, this is a big thing, this is serious, until the song progresses further and you get the lyrical sections such as the negative flies past the speed of light, we're gone in the blink of an eye. This is a cataclysmic event made to happen, and the photographer realizes, oh god, I thought I was destined for big things. This isn't what I wanted. This is the last thing I fucking wanted. That, ironically, blink and you'll miss it sense of self-importance that the photographer gets in terms of the story beats that he gets about his personality pre-picture. I guess you could say pre-picture, before he saw the picture. It fades away completely and melts into this overall, I think I've said it earlier, anxiety and fear that there's nothing he can do. The world is going to end. And the song around him keeps going, just like the world keeps revolving, no matter what he's going to be able to do. He's one person, and this isn't some superhero story. The world's going to end regardless. The music keeps going. The band plays on. Now comes the actual image, the actual event and everything that's happening within it, and the song, The Negative, fittingly called. You get a sense for the state of the world, how the negative has impacted things, and how it's just, I'm repeating words a lot here, I apologize, cataclysm. It is truly an end of the world event. Things are crashing down, buildings are turning to dust. There's two dimensions, two worlds, alternate universes colliding into each other. Singer Jeremy makes some comparisons between a person's mental state and the state of the world, both collapsing in on themselves, both becoming destructive and unable to be stopped. And while the instrumental elements are, of course, good, they're very listenable and very enjoyable, I think this EP especially serves a storytelling purpose. It's not meant to be the most instrumentally profound and unique thing, and I'm completely fine with that. I'm here purely for the story of the negative. I'm here for the perspective of the photographer and all that. If I get some interesting instrumentation, such as in the song, such as in the breakdown that we get later on towards the last half of the song, that's great. As a listener, you immediately get the sense that this isn't an album trying to wow you and make you think this is the best band of all time. If you're a fan of this album and you think they are, that's perfectly okay. This album and this EP is all about telling a story and showing the band's capability to create a sense of danger, a sense of impending doom within their storytelling, and I really appreciate that. Cinematic moments aside, for just a brief moment, I do want to talk on some of the instrumental moments. Goodness, there we are. The last verse of the song has a doubled-up vocal presentation, some screaming, some singing. There's the guitar and drums that keep pace with it, also produce their own pace in terms of further leading into the chaotic vibe and feeling that the overall song has as a whole. I especially like how the vocals and the lyrics are repeated over and over. You keep going through the process again and again in your head. You know it's all over. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You know it's all over. It's maddening watching a world cave in around you. It's maddening watching your own mental state decay and suffer as a result, of course, of actions that you can't stop. And that's what the song represents here. And the breakdown serves as the final crash, the final moment, the last few pieces falling into place. The end is here. The end has come. The end is the end. I think the most interesting part of this EP is the last song, and you can really barely call it a song, as opposed to it's more of just a track. It's an outro. Last Words comes after 2 songs filled with hopelessness, fear, anxiety, destruction. And it's reflective and both indicative of, once again, this overarching theme. End's coming whether you like it or not. Your efforts are fruitless. Other disparaging terms. Some of the lines here lead into wonder, blind to hope for a world that's similar to what's already present, post-negative, after the events of the negative take place. And I don't know if the intention was for a comparison to be drawn between the photographer and this person I'm about to talk about here, but I drew this comparison, and I could very well be reaching, but I just want to talk about it all the same. So in this song, in Last Words, the photographer takes a picture of this old man. He's in the park and he's walking around a tattered dog leash, except there's no dog attached to the leash. He's just dragging around this beat up, mangy leash, and the photographer is, well, for lack of better terms, fucking pissed about it. This rage overcomes him. He sees the hopelessness and the fruitlessness of it. It's so much to a fact that he smashes his own camera. And maybe that's a comparison to be drawn to how he has this sense of self-importance and sense of, I'm going to do something big in the world, and eventually seeing what his purpose is to witness the end before the end happens. He too, just like the old man dragging around a leash, is dragging around that knowledge, and there's nothing he can do about it. The Negative is a wonderful, self-contained story that doesn't go out of its way to try and become the next big, absolute can't-miss instrumental or musical moment in the band's discography. It serves its purpose to a absolute T. It's here to tell a story, it's here to inject that story into you, keep it stuck with you, and then go on with its day as you go on about your day. It's wonderful and perfect in its execution, and for those reasons, I'm going to be giving the Negative EP by Famous Last Words 7 out of 10. And that's the review. Let me know what you guys think. Were you still aware that Famous Last Words was banned? Is that just me? Am I just dumb and ignorant? Because I am very dumb and I am very ignorant, so it's very possible I'm just one person in the world who had that moment of forgetfulness. Do you like the band? Do you like this EP? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going, and above all else, have a great day, stay hydrated, hopefully water and stuff in Arizona can. I'll see you next time.